Hello and Aloha Pa, which means God is glorious, to all the people of the planet. My name is Abbas Tamori. I'm a Canadian and originally a Persian background from Iran. Time is 12:24, today 11th of August. Today I'd like to speak with the people of Australia. I've been a salesman in Canada, selling construction materials, and I'm also a contractor, self-employed contractor who does the job himself. In the last 27 years in this country, I've met a lot of Anglo-Saxon English background people. Most of the 95% of them were great customers, great people to talk, especially when they have a little bit of a British accent. Extremely smart people, very straightforward. So when I like to talk about religion, the Australian, I can just hear them on the other side of the table what they think about religion. Commonly, I wrote those things that I think is what the definition of the religion is, according to the Anglo-Saxons. Let's call religion signature to misfortune, because all these countries that have religion in them, like especially Islamics or even Christians for that matter, they're not doing well. Leash on freedoms. Because when you have a religion, certain perspective of life, doctrine as such, the freedom is taken away. You can't do a lot of things under the fact of the religion. The third definition of it, reason for war with no cause. Very true today. There's a lot of war, religious war, there is no cause really for it. There's no benefit, there's no reason. Another definition, I could hear a good, smart Australian would tell me that, is a license for ignorance. Truly, truly, those who are attached both in Christianity and Islam, it just seems that they're certified ignorant people. President Bush of the United States of America and Bin Laden of the Muslim community. Just have no clue what they were doing, even on what they want to do. Just really true. Another definition of the religion would be claim of superiority. All these religious people, they want to have a uniform, a dress, some way of, mimicking their face, and they are looking to say to the people that I'm bigger and better than you and can advise you on what you need. Another definition, ground for hypocrisy. Oh, that's a great one. In the religious ground, again, to go all the religions, including Baha'is, I've seen so much hypocrisy because religion permits that. And the Baha'i faith, it doesn't, by the way, but other religion does. The other thing, another Australian, probably a smart one from the outback, is going to tell me that defiance of the common sense. That is what the good definition of the religion is. They really, many of them, they don't accept common sense. For example, Jehovah's Witnesses here, they don't accept transfusions of the blood. We don't know why. Or Mormons, they want to marry 4 wives. Or Muslim, they say women are half of men. And the Catholic priests, they don't allow women to preach. So that is the defiance of common sense. Another one, I could hear them, it's a heritage from dark age. Yeah, in the dark ages of Europe, really this religion is coming from them. This is the only heritage we've got. Bacteria into the intelligence. It seems that if somebody's intelligent, man, in many ways it has some kind of a germ, some kind of a bacteria. That would be the religion for him. Perversions of characters. Yes, many of the religious people have perverted characters, including the priests, that they have abused a lot of children and we've heard it all over the place in this issue. A mind disease, that is true too. Artifact of the past, convoluted philosophy. This is what an Anglo-Saxon, especially from Aussies, they could tell me. I'm going to have to agree with all of it. That is truly where the religion stands. But could you say all these things applicable to Jesus Christ when he came first time to the Israelites? Would this be acceptable and applicable to when Muhammad came in Saudi Arabia? Definitely not. Muhammad comes for the first time in the religious history of mankind. He actually set a standard that there is a right for female. There was no right. They were selling them like cows, like cattle. Muhammad said no. The two of them is equal to one. And that's created a big havoc for the Arabs of those times to accept this. That was a big, pill to swallow. So, or Christianity, where it comes and changed the entire Europe to say to love your enemy and states in the world at those days. Who could ever even preach that? So, it's not applicable to them. Why is that applicable now? Is because they're out of time. They're like manna, medicine, food, whatever you want to call it, they're expired. This food once was in the fridge, it's kept, that the expiry date, now it's passed. Outside of the fridge, you eat it, you get sick. Physical food makes you physically sick. This is a spiritual food, mental food, whatever. You take it, you go crazy. So you have to say to yourself how much I read your mind by bringing those phrases that I haven't heard from anybody. Just, I think, if you were to be talking to me, those are the things I would hear from you guys. So, but I would just ask you, you fellows, many questions. If we have no religion, how do we keep the family intact? I've spoken before, I'm just going to go briefly over it. It seems besides the physical womb of our mothers, we also need a sociological, a spiritual womb of family, of a mother and a father that we grow in to receive that love, that and condition of love and trust. If that's not there, mankind will just go down. You know it. What do we do now? We can't use the religions of the past as an excuse for this, because if you grow in a Muslim family, in a Christian family, in a Jewish family, for that matter, Anglican, Catholic, Presbyterian, you would not accept the other people that they grew through the other wombs. It's not compatible to each other. So we can't go back to them. What do we do now, though? Can we legislate these laws, ethical laws in the family, by the lawyers, by philosophers, artists, scientists, influential people? No, it won't work. Many of them have ever been, since the Industrial Revolution, have been around. It didn't work. All we can see that the more it goes, the more family structures disintegrating, even the characters of people disintegrating. People don't know they're a man or a woman even. It's just going everywhere. How do we strengthen the characters of the people without a spiritual background, you see? How do we fix this relationship between husband and wife? There has to be trust. If there's no religion, no God, then I know I'm going to die and nothing is going to happen. What's stopping her to have shop around even after she's married or he is married? What's going to stop you when it comes the most beautiful girl you haven't seen before? Now you're seeing she wants you. Wouldn't you go? You would. There's no God. And you haven't developed any love towards anybody. All your love is nothing but a version of sex. Didn't grow in the family. And to the children, by the way. Children are very extensive, huge problem in Canada, I see. It's just parents that can't parent at all. TV, I call it Ayatul TV, is ruling over the West, and they bring up your children for you. And for the religion, since they haven't had any success in proposing and evolving, postulating anything, they've created Batman, Superman, I don't know, naming Green Lantern. I used to read them all when I was a kid. So they're not a solution either. Just take people into fancy imagination that doesn't exist. Many of you, when the religion comes, or I speak of the religion, and say, this Iranian fellow, for the hell he comes from, and to talk and comes to tell us about a religion. What the hell is the religion? Nothing but cause a war and fight and all the terms that I just used before. This is the last thing we need. Some Iranian, they come down here and tell us things. You know, we don't want to talk about religion. If there is something in your heart, keep it. We don't need to know. I hear that. Yo. Sound weird. So back to the discussions. We know what you think about the religions of the past, and we know why the reasons are. When I told you I can't create a substitute, I found, scientifically speaking, I'm a scientist philosopher, that nature itself, within itself, finds solution when something goes wrong. So naturally proposed idea that it just comes just the same way the nature is called Baha'i faith. Baha'i faith has been established in your country right now for a long time. Whoever's created this nature and put this formula together, which is rather chaotic, it's not Euclidean mathematics, there's no perfect circle, perfect oval, triangle, straight line in the nature, but it works. The same individual have revealed the religion books, these religious books. I don't want to call it religion in the Baha'i faith because it's not comparable to any of those in the past. We call it faith. So the Baha'i faith is same as the nature that is revealed. It has many, many unique, absolutely unique ideas and ground that just makes it completely different from any ideology that has ever been proposed by human being. I used to have communist tendencies as a kid. I couldn't believe, like you, when I read Bible and when I read Quran, I love this Christian girl. When I read these books, I said, you know what? I prefer the book of Dostoevsky and Leon Tolstoy that was around me. I'd rather read Les Miserables of Victor Hugo, you know. That makes more sense to me than this convoluted ideology is good for children. So I believed, like you, there's no God and none of that is true. But in the course of time, I found out that to have a bad religion is a problem, and to have no religion is another problem. We're going to have to find some common ground here to fix this religion. Baha'i faith is an antibiotic to the religious sickness of the past. It has come to fix it, and nothing else can kill it. Bolshevik regime couldn't kill it. Maoism couldn't kill it. Stalinism couldn't get rid of it. Imperialist system of the United States and the Western philosophers and Western economy, Western sexualities, everything else couldn't get rid of it. It proliferated, it just became thousands fold. There used to be one Christianity after the Industrial Revolution. It turned into three, now it's into thousands. Dividing people into 1,000 sects. Every one of them hate each other. They got to go to Israel to find out on the Church of Nativity what is going on between the Christians and fighting that to take a little piece of these holy sepulchres, you know. Every one of them fight crazy. So, this is what a definition of the Baha'i faith. I'll tell you what you think. Is the most dynamic religions of the world. By that I mean Baha'i faith is revealed, but it's not over. You and I can change it. It's an open file. Because according to Baha'ullah, the universal laws of justice and universal laws of guardianship, which will have to come a little later, these two together create the world order of Baha'ullah. And those institutions level in the world, whatever they want, they can add to the religion. It's acceptable. Shoaib Effendi says in his book, any great movement, modern movement, can be added to the Baha'i faith. Baha'i faith is a collection of all the good things in the world. Anything that's good is a part of it. So we're not into a dogmatic situation that we can't do nothing. It's democratic. Because Baha'u'llah, amazingly, I've said this message to the British people, because they are truly chosen ones of today, the way we look at the writings, second to them, or after them are Japanese. You guys of the Anglo-Saxon race have an opportunity to change things around. At the time that you were making Australia and Canada and democracy in the world, one Iranian, apparently, Baha'u'llah, the manifestation of God, proposed Baha'i faith. One of the things that he did is that there is no clergy and ecclesiastics, man-made, self-appointed, self-proclaimed people to come and lead people spiritually. He said, no, that's the disease to the religion. People have to elect their own priest in a local area, their own at a national level, their own at international level. And he elevated them at the national, international level to be adding to the religion and writing. This rare writing would be infallible. Very amazing, isn't it? So it's democratic, it's scientific. Baha'u'llah says, in the Baha'i faith it's written that if religion is not according to science and logic, might as well not to be there. Get rid of it. Abdullah says it's mere imaginations. Religion has to put up with scientific progress and philosophical progress. Logical. If it is not scientific, throw it out. It's no good. In the light of this, Baha'u'llah says that, do not say I believe in you. That becomes personal. Say I recognize you. Baha'i should say that we recognize Baha'u'llah. Not just we believe in him. Belief is personal. It's for yourself. We don't know how you believe in, why you believe in. Your personal reasons. But when you say I recognize, then there's a reason and science behind what you're saying. So that's fantastic, isn't it? I found it very, very fantastic. It's universal, Baha'i faith. It doesn't belong to one little area. You know, it cannot be established in Australia only. It can't be established in one part of the world. Baha'i faith takes the whole world as one component. Baha'u'llah says, just one cell of your body cannot claim it is you. It is you, but it cannot claim is you. You also cannot claim you are humanity. You are a part of the bigger picture. If the cells in your body are not functioning and they're going against the brain, the body gets sick. So as us, if we don't collaborate and cooperate and understand each other, see what our relationship is despite all these differences, and we have no brain that is a universal government, well, then we're going haywire. Because whether we like it or not, Africa is the hand of humanity. China is the foot of humanity. Australia is the head of the humanity. Iran is, I don't know, the foot of humanity. You cannot be happy in one world, one part of the world, and watching the other part is dying. It's like your hand says, I don't care about what happened to the foot. It's not my responsibility. I just want to go and play myself on the computer or whatever I can do. I can't. The body is down because of the leg. This is the truth behind most of the depression, most of the stress that we carry, because subconsciously is bothering us. This is why people like Bill Gates trying to solve a problem. On the very they reach on the top, then they know they're gonna have to give. They have to do something. So, talking about the Baha'i faith, it accepts diversity, unity in diversity. Baha'i faith has not come to change the people of the world into something. Baha'u'llah says no. All of us were the pieces of a jigsaw puzzle called humanity. Of to put it together properly, the way naturally it should be put together, it will become humanity. So there's no point that I come and convert you to my ideology or to my anything. That is not the case in the Baha'i faith. They say embracing the faith, not converting the faith. Baha'is and Baha'u'llah says rather talk to the individual, give your example of others, a way for him to fix himself up. There's no competition between you two and between human beings. We're all unique, created differently. Their face, their shape, everyone has their own destiny. So Baha'is only shake hand to somebody to join to him. That's it. And they want to help him to become himself, a healthy part of this jigsaw puzzle. Not to become me. That conformity is not existing, doesn't. And that is a faith, very important, is a family-based religion. And the Baha'i faith, marriage is not obligations, but nevertheless, we believe that a live society is made out of the live units. We call it cell. That is the difference between a plant and a stone. A stone is made out of atoms, which are dead. So a stone is dead too. But a plant is made out of cell. The cells are alive. A live organic society would have to have a unit called family, where the children are raised, human being is raised properly. So it's a practical religion. A lot of people, they give ideas, they're utopians. Great ideology, it doesn't work. Baha'ullah has accompanied his ideology, God's ideology, this natural ideology, alongside of the world order of Baha'ullah. So the Baha'is, they elect among themselves 9 members called LSA, Local Spiritual Assembly, lots of them in Australia, National Spiritual Assembly of Australia, there's only one, and Universal House of Justice right now in Israel. And according to my study, there should be a Universal House of Guardianship as well to accompany the Universal House of Justice, so they can become 2 pairs. One pair made out of 2, man and women, like a father and mother. One interprets the faith, the other legislates together to create democracy. Baha'u'llah has many principles. I just brought some of them. Baha'u'llah says that the foundation of all the religion is one. This is stupid to dispute, to say this religion is better than that, this is not that and that. Definitely derogatory ideas. Get rid of it. He says men and women have equal opportunity. They're like the 2 wings of a bird. Religion has to be according to science and logic. He says if your religion causing strife and disunity, get rid of it. It's no good. He ordered an auxiliary language besides your mother language in order to communicate in the world, which is English right now. And many principles that are very unique. No one in the world has ever brought this. But the philosophy behind the Baha'i faith is very great. See, the God that you know as such order this and that is not how it is defined in the Baha'i faith. The God, the very essence of God, is absolutely something impossible to get to it. We're like Mickey Mouse is like Walt Disney. We will never understand him. Just the way it is. But we look at ourselves, we see that there's organization in the world. So God works through his will. Okay, and the prime matter. The will of God and the prime matter together created this universe. This is a combination, like a green color that